Hello, it's me, it's Silver. Uh, just starting off with the usual. I hope that your week went well. That it was at least better than mine. Then I'm going to show what I was showing in the thumbnail, which is this new doily that I made. I feel real gangster for doing these, for being able to do these. This was done with the 1.25. I am currently doing something with the 0.75. That's 0.75. My mom says that steaming it and then like ironing it and putting something heavy over it, like would make these stand out more. But I'm like, it's fine like this. Pause. Put it back. One last look at the thing. Yeah. Okay. Here I am. Again, still. My coffee's here. Hey, bitch. Come on. It has foam in it. Look, it has foam. Because I got one of those cheap milk frother things. Frother. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's fine. Sorry. Yeah, it's not little anymore. It's Linda now. Let me get the foam. Yeah, it's pumpkin spice still. Really needed this. So last week I went to last Monday I went to the support place thing, but they mostly do mental support, and that's good. I mean, they were not very experienced, I wouldn't say. I say they like two people. There were two people there. They weren't very thorough. And then they booked something for this week as well, but I'm not entirely sure because I didn't receive any message from them. Regardless, I mean, it was fine. It was fine. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if I want to go there because yeah, the mental support is good, but they're not shrinks. They're psychologists, so they can't really prescribe me anything, and my anxiety has been like through the roof. So yeah, and also I got scammed basically out of 250 euros. that I'd been saving. It was again like a case of it happened too fast for me to process what was happening, and yeah, I just had that money. Yeah. Because like I was trying to get support for the case with the abusive thing, and yeah, basically I got nicked. There was this entrance fee, and I should have seen that it was too good to be true. But when you're desperate, you kind of don't see those things. And it was just too fast, you know. It was like bam, 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 and my brain just doesn't process things that fast, especially when I'm stressed. So yeah, well, now I had to cancel the credit card, which is in my name, since my mom can't have anything in her name. And yeah, well, against my best judgment, I will leave my coffee in the description, and if anyone's watching this and for some reason has anything to spare, I mean, I would be very appreciative. Like, it's not dry breaking, I'm not starving, it's not an immediate issue. I mean, I'm not starving, figuratively speaking. Like, it's not, this has to happen until the end of the day. No, it's not. It's nothing like that. Or until the end of the week or the end of the month. Because, you know, when you like cancel a card, they don't have access to anything else. But now you have to wait for a new card, basically, and it will be the same account. It just won't have the same numbers. And yeah, that's the information that was compromised. Because I was just desperate. It's too much money. It's too much money for the real deal. So I was looking for alternatives, and there's no easy way out. Obviously, I should have known better. Obviously, I know better. But when you're desperate, you kind of send common sense out the window. That's what happens. Doesn't matter how smart you are. When you're desperate, you do desperate things. And it fucking sucks. Yeah. Let's drink to that before I become the dumbass who comes online to cry. Like, it seemed legit. It did. There was a whole website and everything. But then I was just ghosted, and my information was there, and I was just like, oh, no, fuck. Yeah. Because then more money disappeared, like was locked. Because, I don't know, the bank must have something in place to prevent certain transactions from being made against your will. So, yeah, it's locked. It's still locked. And I cancelled the cards, so, well, hopefully they'll be able to reverse it. If they're not, then what can I do? Except just put my links out here and hope for a miracle. I don't know. Because the job hunt is not going well. Like, I've been hunting for jobs and it's all just a bunch of rubbish. And it's either rubbish or too far. And yeah. I mean, if I had some sort of talent, I could sell some goods, but all I can do is crochet, and so far I haven't sold a single crochet piece. Maybe I should sell this thing that was my first attempt at micro crochet amigurumi. It looks extremely cursed. Look at it. Oh my god. It's a bunny, more like a this guy has what's it called, pink eye in rabbits. It's not leishmaniose. That's the thing in in ticks. I know it as myxomatoes. Let me check the phone. Let's check. Oh yeah. Yeah, my brain is just not working, obviously. Myxomatoes. Oh, okay. Myxomatoes is severe and often fatal viral disease that affects rabbits and hares. Yeah. No, it cannot be passed to humans. Nope. I know that from experience because, yeah, they raise rabbits. I don't eat rabbits, but yeah. How the hell do you even pronounce this word? Okay, myxomatosis. Okay, does it have a pronunciation? Okay, more people were looking at the pronunciation. Myxomatosis. Okay, so I was correct. Yeah. Yeah, rabbits usually don't make it, and it's highly contagious. So if one rabbit gets it, you best disinfect the place the rabbit was in before putting another rabbit there, because the virus might still be there. Let me pause. Okay. I forgot that I had the light there. That's okay. I'm turning it back on and hoping there's no more yelling. went from whatever to whatever. Yeah, I went from trying to solve the problem an easy way, and then losing money and having to get a new car to myxomatosis, the disease that affects rabbits. I was saying that if a rabbit gets infected and you have it in an enclosure, there is a cure. There is a way to cure the rabbit. It's hard, but it's possible. But if the virus is still there, if the rabbit dies and you put another rabbit there, the other rabbit will probably contract it as well. Yeah, but if they get it and survive, then they will not get it again. It's like chickenpox, I think it's called chickenpox. In humans, if you get it once, you won't get it again. At least that's what I've been told. And yeah, hey, I saw that someone else had subscribed, so thank you and welcome. I'm not sure if I have anything of value to offer. The weather's getting colder, so I might start feeling better and start reading stories again. So there's that, I guess. But other than that, I just talk about crafts and complain, and sometimes just yap about random topics. Yeah, I started doing another thing with the 0.75 hook, just so it doesn't seem like I'm bullshitting. There it is. Yeah, I'm trying to make it not cursed like that blue one, because for that one I used the right size of yarn. Let me pause. Okay, yeah. This is also yarn that was lying around. It's bigger than the hook, so it's hard to work with it since the hook is small. Oh my god. Oh, I lost the hook. Where is it? Oh gosh. Okay. I found it. Because working with this small stuff is like the closest you will get in crochet to knitting, because with knitting, I saw someone, I think I said that this last week, that I saw someone compare knitting and crochet to cooking and baking. With knitting, if you mess up a stitch, then you mess up the whole project. With crochet, if you mess up one stitch, you're fine. You're fine. And with cooking, it's kind of the same thing. If you mess up something when you're cooking, like a meal, yeah, you may mess up the whole dish. With baking, if you put a bit more flour, maybe it'll get a bit denser, but overall it will still be fine. And I agreed, because yeah, correct. But with this type of crochet, like the small type, you really cannot mess up the stitch count. Like, very much you can't. You can't, because everything is visible, since it's weird because it's small, so it shouldn't be so visible, but it is, because you can see the strings, right? And you see that it's wonky, which is not as visible when it's something big. When it's like crochet with chunkier yarn, like for example this one. And this was done with a 2mm. Yeah, I think this was the one I made with the 2mm hook. Yeah, this is the correct side. Correct side, wrong side. Correct, wrong. Now I can tell the difference. My mom explained the difference to me. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Like the correct size is the one where you can see the stitches clearly defined, and the wrong side is the one where the stitches are like kind of blurry. But yeah, now I'm trying to make a green rabbit because that's the yarn that I have, and yeah, obviously I don't have money. And I'm not a stasher by any means. I will be making gifts to give people for Christmas and stuff, but it's all with stuff that I already have, that I got at a discount, and I still have to knit or crochet a jumper for myself, because yeah, the lady was so nice. She gave me a whole bulky roll, because she said, I was like, oh, this is really huge, you could probably make a whole jumper out of it. And she was like, oh, I mean, it depends on the size of the person. I mean, for yourself, sure, but for me, nah, I would need a bit more. It's like, yeah, again, and I think when I showed that roll, I mentioned that it wasn't like fat phobic to charge a bit more for material and time when you're hand making something for a bigger person, because it costs more of both. It's not like going to the shop where everything is mass produced by machines, like there are knitting machines and stuff like that, so it's, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of it makes sense that everything is priced equally, even though there's more material in a bigger piece. Like, by that logic, then baby clothes should be basically free, but they're not. Most of the time they're extremely expensive for no reason. The baby will outgrow it in a couple of months, and you're buying an extremely expensive piece of clothing that's like this big, and yeah, I don't know why baby clothes are so expensive, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Why? Is it hard to make small items? I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay. Now you're just hearing the pressure washer thing go off. Yeah, but I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna try to find one of my collections of stories, and I'm going to read one of them. Just so that this suffers some value. Okay. So, I said that maybe I would try reading a story in Tamil, but I couldn't find anything like that was Romanized because I can't read the script. So I have a collection of stories, and I will be paraphrasing because this is copyrighted. So and you cannot copyright folktales, so I can tell the story without using the exact wording. Basically, I just have to interpret it as I go. So this one is called the Brahmarakshasa. Brahmarakshasa. A story, a folktale from Tamil Nadu. There is a village in the country of Egalinrapa. I'm butchering that because the PDF just said nah, I can't do that. And in this village, in this country, lived a Brahma who gained his living collecting alms daily, and for that he was in very bad circumstances. He was so poor that he was out of hope, and he wanted to fly to Banaras. And so since it depended on what charity could provide for him as he went on with only one day worth of things tied up in a bundle, like a stick with a little package attached to it, I imagine. When he got there, he wanted 4 gaikas before sunset. And he had approached a thick forest, which was also extensive and very wide. And he encountered some villages along the way. I don't understand what I'm reading. I'm so sorry. This is atrocious. And so after he went on for more than the 4 gaikas, he got to a splendid and amazing tank. Just when the sun set. And ablutions must never be forgone by a Brahma, so he got near the tank to wash his hands and legs and did his prayers, and he ate the little stuff that he had in his bundle. and as soon as he put his foot inside the water, he heard someone call out, "Don't put your foot in this water. You are not allowed to do that." He looked around him and saw nobody and nothing, and he didn't pay attention to the threat. So he washed his hands and his feet and sat down to perform his Sandhya Vandana, or his evening worship. Okay, thanks for clarification. When again he heard a voice. "You can't perform your Sandhya Vandana. You are not allowed to do that." A second time, he paid no attention to the voice and continued with his prayers. And when he was done with his prayers, he opened his bundle of food. And so, when he began to eat, the same voice spoke again, but the Brahma didn't pay attention to it and finished his food. And so, he then got up and continued walking. So, as to if he could reach some village to get a place to sleep for that night. And he had barely walked one step when the same voice said he was not allowed to continue. Having been barred 4 times, this Brahma boldly snapped and said, "Who are you? You evil thing. And why do you forbid me from every reasonable thing that I want to do?" And a voice from a pipal tree above him said, "I am Brahmarakshasa named. I am a Brahmakshasa named Ganapia. In my other life I was a Brahma, and I learned all the things of music, but I was unwilling to share my knowledge that I worked so hard to learn and earn with others. Paramevara was so displeased with my actions that he made me a Brahmarakshasa in this life, and now his rage seems to have not been appeased. And at the distance of a quarter of a gaika from here are the ruins of a temple in which puja, which means worship, is conducted very poorly, in very rough ways. And during those ceremonies, a piper plays upon a Nagasvara pipe so very terribly that it causes me the ultimate embarrassment to listen to. All I hope is to escape. My only hope is of escaping is that one Brahma will rescue me from this tree. And you are the first one I have ever met with in this forest, and I have grown very thin from worrying about having to hear that terrible piper day after day. If I continue listening to that and staying in this tree, I will die. So have pity on my situation. I beg you, and please take me away to some other tree, 5 or 6 gaikas away from this place, and leave me in peace there so that I can be away from that horrible piper and get a little better. If you do that for me, I will grant any wish for you. And so, the Brahmarakshasa said this to the Brahma. And the Brahma could hear that he was telling the truth from his voice, that he was weak and thin and tired from the noise of the poorly played pipe. And so he said, I am a very poor Brahma, and if you promise to fix my situation and make me wealthy, I will take you to a good distance away from here, to a place where you can no longer hear the sound of that broken Nagasvara, and it will no longer bother you. The Brahmarakshasa thought for a few nimshas and thus replied, Holy Brahma, every person must go through what is cut for them by Brahma in this world of ours. Another 5 years of poverty have been given to you by the fate you were dealt. And after that, I will go and possess the princess of Mysore, and none of the spells that well-versed magicians may say to me will drive me away. Until then, until you present yourself in front of the king of Mysore and promise to cure her of me, he will promise you a lot of things, and you must start the cure when I will, and at that point I will leave her. The king will be so pleased that he will give you several things, several wishes, grant you several boons, it says here. I don't even know what that means. I have a completely different understanding of the word boons. I'm paraphrasing because, copyrighted material. I don't want any trouble. Sorry. Which will make you very joyful. But after that, you can never go to any place where I might be, because that might make me possess several princesses. But if you go there with the curing eyes, then I will take your life with a single blow. So be warned. This is a threat. And so that's what the Braham Rakshasa said. And the Brahma agreed to all these terms and conditions and put it in another pipal tree 7 gaikas away from where the Braham Rakshasa was. The Braham Rakshasa liked this new home and let the Brahma continue his way north to Banaras, which took him 6 months to get there. And for 5 years he lived in the Hanumanta Gata at Banaras, and he performed ablutions to wash himself pure of all of the sins he committed. And so, thinking of the promise made by the Braham Rakshasa, he went back south, and after he traveled for 5 months, he knew the way by then. He went to a different place. Okay, he reached Mysore, where he was let into an old woman's house and asked her about the news of that place. And so she said, "My son, the princess of this land, the only daughter of the king, is possessed by an enraged demon, and has been so for 5 months, and all the exorcists of Jambudvipa have tried their best to heal her, but to no avail. The one who cures her will become the master of a large amount of money, treasures, good things." And so that's what the old woman said. And the Brahma was very happy that the Braham Rakshasa hadn't been lying, and that it promised to go there. So he took a bath quickly, had a meal, and then showed himself at the darbar that very day. The king promised him many villages and very many elephant loads of mohars if he could cure the princess. With these conditions in mind, the Brahma started the exorcisms, and when he was on the 3rd day of these exorcisms, he asked for all people to gather. People gathered there to leave the room where the possessed princess was sat. Then he explained to his friend the Brahm Rakshasa, who was the one possessing her, that he was the Brahma who had helped them in the woods 5 years prior. And the devil was very happy to see his old friend once more, and wished him a prosper life, warning him to never return to any other palace where the Braham Rakshasa, could go for shelter, and then left. The princess returned to her previous form, and the Brahma was then awarded with a ton of wealth and land, and settled in Mysore. And because of this, he earned the name of exorcist and cultivated that science in secrecy and became a master of it. And all over the country, he was famous as the master magician and someone who could cure possessions and things like that. He was also the favorite of the king of Mysore and married a beautiful Brahma girl by whom he became the father of 3 kids. And then 10 years passed. Meanwhile, the Braham Rakshasa, after going to several places, went to the country of Trivandrum, okay, and possessed the princess of that place. So many masters of the magic arts were called, but nothing happened. And his fame preceded him as the master exorcist of Mysore. And those rumors reached the ears of the king of that place, the Tiruvananthapuram. And so he wrote to the Maharaja of Mysore, who showed the letter to this Brahma. This invitation was obviously a death stroke to the hero of the story, since if he refused to go, he would lose the good name and the favors of his king. But if he went, he would die. So he preferred the latter. He'd rather die. And so he wrote a will, leaving all his possessions to his children and confiding them to someone he trusted. And then he started from Mysore to Tiruvananthapuram, which he then reached after journeying for a month. And so the king made space for him to be comfortable, and he performed the journey with a lot of ease. But his heart was not very easy, not beating very easily, and he was very worried and stressed. What a mood. Pick the right story. And then he reached this country, the country of Tiruvananthapuram, and tried to delay the exorcisms. Coming up with one excuse or the other for as long as he could. but the king wanted to make sure that he was the real deal. So he was made to leave no room. To make mistakes and cure the princess. And so the Brahma had no hope in the world, and he thought of his days that were very, very numbered, and he started to perform the cure. And as usual, he made made sure to have a bunch of excuses for a couple of days with his exorcisms. But then he thought, well, after all, what's the point of prolonging this predicament, this horrible life, this stress, this misery, since it's settled that I will die? The sooner, the better. And so, determined, and ready to fall, due to the blow of the Braham Rakshasa, he entered the room where the princess was sat. Sorry. It's seated. I'm paraphrasing. But as soon as he entered, a thought entered his mind, and he said, very confidently, will you abandon her now, you Braham Rakshasa, or should I? With a single blow of the sound of that piper of the ruined temple near those woods, and you know, is waiting right outside. And no sooner had the name of that terrible piper entered the ears of the Braham Rakshasa, he threw down the long pole he was holding to brandish at the Brahma and kill him. He fell on his feet and said, "Brother Brahma, I will not look back, but go away right now, if you will never bring that piper near me again." "Agreed," said the hero of our story. And Pierre disappeared. Of course, the hero of our story was extremely well rewarded for his success and became double famous throughout the world as the master exorcist. The end. This was terrible. I am so sorry for butchering all these names and for not preparing in advance. This was... you know when you're desperate and you do things. Yeah, I relate to this Brahma. He was very smart and he thought of a last resource plan. I wish I had his smarts. But yeah, the moral of the story is outwit your enemy. It's funny though, it's a really funny story. Yeah, like he basically said he was scared and then basically said, you know, man, if you kill me, I'll just bring that terrible piper who's probably playing on the wall by Oasis terribly on a very terrible flute or something. Like, yeah, man. If you kill me, I'll just bring him in. And the other guy was like, "Oh my god, please no!" And just yeet himself out of there. Like, yeah, this is a funny story. I like it. It's very long. This is almost 1 hour long. It's longer than most podcasts with actual interesting things happening in them. But hey, a story. Just put me at 2 times speed, I guess. And this will be bearable. But yeah, if you stayed until now, thank you so much. I am so sorry. The real spooks are the desperate times we live in and the scammers that outsmart desperate idiots like me. And yeah. I wish I had the smarts of this Brahma. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry. But yeah. Well, that's it. That's all. That's enough. That's very long. There was a story. So I guess we're getting the mojo back. I feel a bit better. I love stories. Can you tell? Yeah. Maybe I'll try putting like timestamps in this on YouTube if it allows me, so that you can jump right to the story and skip the venting part. Yeah. But thank you so much for being here, for supporting me. If you can. If you can't, that's fine. That's completely fine. Seriously, this is not try breaking. I'm not saying that I will be evicted or whatever the hell people do with those scams. I'm just asking, like, yeah, if you have anything to spare, please. I would be extremely thankful. I have tuition to pay, and I would like to get this process finished quickly. Like, the reason why I want it finished quickly is because it's a relatively simple thing if you have the money for it. That's why I was looking for a simple solution. But yeah, those don't really exist, do they? So yeah, that's it. That's all. And that's enough. And is my kazoo? Yeah, I have a kazoo. I do kazoo covers sometimes when I feel extra goofy. Just kazoo it, but I'll try to be back, and that's a threat. Thank you for being here. Stay well. Bye bye.